Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining this session. We are expecting few more people to join in, so we will start the session in a minute or so. So good morning, everybody. My name's Ravina Glanet, and I handle the AC marketing at Autodesk. Firstly, thank you so much for taking out time from your schedule and attending our session today. And I hope during these tough times, everybody is safe. Please do take care of yourself and stay indoors. It is a bad time for all of us, but we are in it together and we shall overcome this. Without any further delay, I would like to invite our speaker. I would like to invite Prabhu, who's our technical specialist, and Tandavan, the technical specialist at Autodesk. So, Prabhu, over to you. Prabhu, we can't hear you. Might want to unmute yourself.
I think Rovin, I have to unmute him. Prabhu, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
Thanks, Rovina. So, welcome everyone. So, without further delay, we'll rush to the clouds straight away with me, Prabhu, and along with me here, Tandaman, and our guest speaker for the day, Pritijit Majumdar. So, all of us know this. Our lives are changing, and they're changing constantly. And we are on this lifelong journey towards the future, improving the way we live every step along the way into the future. For example, the way we communicate. Look at how it has changed from disconnected, time consuming to connected anytime, anywhere. All of us are just a video call away. All of us from multiple places are now on this session. And thanks to technology for that. And with us, we are evolving the things that we build to our homes, offices, airports, roads, industries. We, that is the owners, architects, structural engineers, MEP engineers, and consultants, have constantly evolved the way we build these on a journey towards the future. We moved from CAD to BIM, and we didn't stop there. We tried, or at least have thought about 3D, 4D, 5D, and beyond as well. Looking at tools that we can use to make our designs better every time. And so we have many tools now, but with one problem. Our tools and the data that these tools generate are not as connected as people like us are. We are connected through technology, but we can't say the same thing about our data. We are experts at creating great designs for construction, but not at managing designs among all the different stakeholders that are involved in a project. And so there is a need to travel from BIM to connected BIM. So in the next 30 minutes, let's prepare you for the travel towards the future of project delivery in your AEC projects, towards connected BIM. But in our real lives, we don't just travel just like that, right? Do we? We make a plan. And there are 5 major questions that we need to answer as we prepare for our travel. Where do we want to go? The destination. Why should we go? The reason or the purpose for our travel. How do we travel? Do we walk? Do we drive? Take an airplane? Take a train? How do we travel to our destination? What do we get from the travel? The benefits like experience, peace of mind, adventure. What do we get? And finally, when do we go? Do we go today, tomorrow, or next year? So let's answer all of these questions to make a plan for our travel towards the future of connected BIM. So we'll start with where. Where do we want to go? We are traveling to the future, but how does the future look like? What vision do we see about the place we are traveling to? It is a place with unexpected opportunities for growth, learning, and innovation, and it all starts with connection. Collaboration in the industry is drastically reshaped in these times. Many companies are investing in digitization more than ever, but want solutions that connect more than just teams, offer flexibility, and provide powerful insights. The future that we are heading to is a place where everything is connected. We want to connect our teams, the tools, the data, all in one place to improve productivity and avoid rework. We want to be able to collaborate in our preferred design tools, communicate all the progress of your projects in real time, and manage all documentation on a single platform that's built to understand the AEC industry. and we're heading to a place which is flexible for both all the AEC workflows, inclusive of horizontal workflows or vertical, and anytime, anywhere access to our data and authoring tools, including flexibility and scalability of the data. And finally, we want the place to be powerful, which is secure access and data storage, all our data centralized in one place with integrity, and learn from that data using analytics and insights. And in the COVID changed world, the challenges our industry faces seem to be daunting, right? So here we want to go to a place where we have business continuity, maintain business continuity so we can work from anywhere on anything with insight in order to reduce the risk and gain efficiencies in our day-to-day operations. And we know this well. When our teams are disconnected, redundancies and errors, they multiply, and they multiply multifold. Now we can go to a place where we don't have to face all of these issues, where we'll have business continuity. And we also need to have clarity on what we do. Clarity across the ecosystem, across the project lifecycle, with organized data and structured access for everyone in your teams. And finally, our business needs get better visibility. We need to go to a place where there's better visibility and insight. Which process is working for our teams? Which communication method is working for our team? How many issues do we have? How are we tackling those issues? We should have visibility into all of that in our new future. That is where we want to go. But why do we want to go there? Why do we want to go into that future? What's happening now? What's that one compelling reason that is pushing us to go into that future? We'll talk about how the industry fragmentation directly impacts what is happening right now. A typical project that we all do is made up of multiple teams across all the phases of the project lifecycle. Owners, general contractors, subcontractors, engineers, architects, consultants, all of us use different systems and platforms. In fact, 25% of the companies use 5 or more different software applications, which makes integration and communication harder and limits the project data usage. Communication within a team can happen through various formats right now, including paper. Actually, more than 70% of the global industry is still working from traditional paper-based processes. This issue has added an added layer of complexity when we consider the communication between different teams. So we spoke with AEC professionals around the world, and this is what they had to say about this challenge that we are facing now. This is not going to be of any surprise to you because you know this already. We have tuned our minds to ignore this completely, to think that there's no problem in the way we work. But trust me, there is a problem. 33% of AEC professionals around the world have found that accessing the latest set of documents and having the most current information is a challenge in completing a project. And 32% worry that someone will be using the wrong revision of a drawing or a document or a data. And over 60% of major projects fail to meet cost and schedule targets. Inefficiencies built into our traditional project delivery processes can incur significant cost and time requirements. And there are reports that with the traditional project delivery methods, there was a productivity loss of 50% when we started working remotely last year during the pandemic. And if we were to think that there is no impact on business because of this, we are wrong. This fragmentation of data has a huge and direct impact on the project outcomes across all levels of the organization. Teams are disconnected and working from outdated information, leading to loads of wasted time and security issues due to unnecessary people on the project and on the site. In fact, 35% of time is wasted in non-optimal activities. On the project level, the disconnection between the office and other stakeholders accounts for massive avoidable rework, impacting project cost, quality, delivery time, and profitability. And there is a massive impact at the business level as well. Unused and lost project data is hugely reducing the potential opportunities such as the portfolio visibility. The industry, the AEC industry, urges for more connection from people to data, and technology plays a key role within this opportunity. So we know where we want to go, and we know why we want to go there. But Tandavan, this question is for you. How do we go there?
Yeah, Prabhu. Yeah. Hi, everyone. So yeah, Prabhu explained it very well about the where, I mean the vision part, the vision of the future connected BIM, and why the reason towards the why we want to move towards the connected BIM. And let me explain you the how part. So if you are traveling, so we need to make sure like on the which vehicle that we want to travel, right? Or in case in the projects, so what is the tool? What is the best tool that I can utilize on the project so that I can move towards this connected BIM? Next slide. So here is our strategy, which consists of three pillars. The first pillar is digitization. So we are fully enabling the construction business for the digital age. It is not just about moving off to the paper. So although that is an essential first step, right? So it's about digitizing the process so our customers can enhance the way information which is shared through the connected devices, and no matter where these teams are working from, either they can work from home or from office or from any different geos, right? So this enables this technology of digitization helps them to enable faster and better decision from a single source of truth. And the next pillar is workflow integration. So we are bringing business process together and automating the manual workflow across all construction phases to connect all the project data. So we are breaking down the data silos that currently exist across financial, bidding, project management, and maintenance systems. So that way, our customers can benefit from all data generated throughout the whole project lifecycle. And finally, since we are bringing all this data together and capturing critical information, we enable our customers to leverage the data to improve their business. So this way, they can automatically extract powerful insights and even predict a wide range of issues and risks before they happen. So we are optimizing the data usage so our customers can deliver projects profitably, safety, and on time, and like every time they can keep on repeat this process. So let's let's take a look closer like how Autodesk connected BIM connects the teams, workflow, and the data. So first we bring the teams and team members together, enabling easier collaboration from a single source of truth, whether in the office or on the job site or anyone, everywhere, like either from working from home or on the job site, or everyone collaborates through the connected devices. So we are delivering the best in class capabilities to enhance the collaboration through meaningful workflows for all phases of construction, starting from conceptual design or detailed design development or the deliverables, documentation, all the phases of construction executions. Okay, we connect all these workflows from design authoring to the facility maintenance. We are integrating the workflows to enable the construction teams to optimize the desired outcomes while ensuring construction companies expand their businesses. And all of this is only possible through a strong connected foundation, right? So with connected BIM, share the data allows decision making and enables the predictive insights. And also the documents are shared. So work happens from the single source of truth. So all this gathered data enables construction teams to better deliver or even predict the business outcomes. So, and the tool which we are going to use is, so since we're talking about the digitization, integrated workflow or the optimization, and what is the tool, the right tool which I can use it in my projects, which we are talking of, which we are going to talk about the BIM Collaborate. So with BIM Collaborate, where you get the documentation access, where you can keep securely save all your project data, the documents, everything on cloud. You can do a design collaboration, publishing the data or package review or distribution, and also the model coordination part. So which comes with automated class reduction, grouping the clashes, and it will resolve all your coordination issues. So when it comes to the document, so it supports like 50 plus industrial file formats with all the permissions. You have this 2D and 3D version comparison and everything. So if we go to the Collaborate Pro, so what is the additional benefit that I get? When it comes to Collaborate Pro, next click, Prabhu. Yeah. So when it comes to BIM Collaborate Pro, in addition, you get Revit Cloud Work Sharing. So when I say Revit Cloud Work Sharing, which is on live collaboration. So on live, I can share the data with my team members and to the stakeholders also. The reason is like when I'm working in a project, if you take a building project, okay, so this BIM Collaborate Pro, it's not only for the building, it is applicable for your infrastructure projects, civil projects, if you're working on civil 3D product or plant 3D, okay, so you can use this tool. And if I talk about the Revit Cloud Work Sharing, if I am a structural engineer, so I need to share my design package. I want to collaborate with the other discipline team members, and the similar way the MEP team members across mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. So everyone should be like everyone have to share their works packages and everything. And before they consume, they can review everything on cloud. So whenever there is an update, they can do this version controlling everything. So these products include these key features of this Revit users like design collaboration module, model coordination, and everything. And if I if I wanted to talk about the key capabilities of this BIM Collaborate and BIM Collaborate Pro, the first thing is on the collaboration part and communication and coordination. So these are the three major capabilities of this tool of this product, which is Collaborate and Collaborate Pro. So let me share you some information about the collaboration. So how you can work anywhere, anytime, and with anyone. And if your concern is like elevating your complex projects by enabling the team members for the better collaboration on your design, so you can use BIM Collaborate Pro to enable the multiple users to co-author the Revit models with Revit Cloud Work Sharing. And this gives you the ability to extend the work sharing to project teams in any location while centralizing the efforts for distributed teams. You can also better allocate the resource and assign the best team members with the most relevant skill set to each project. And a short video about the BIM collaboration. So if you look at, this is the Revit user interface where you can see the complete project. And if I would like to share this model, if I would like to collaborate this model, I can just simply go to the collaborate and where I can create my set and I can synchronize these changes to the cloud. So once I'm synchronizing, you can see it is quickly to get synchronized and it will upload the complete changes. Okay. And I can choose the project. I go there, you can see architecture, MEP, and structure model. I can update it. So here, this is the Swimline where you can see all the discipline files like civil, MEP, structure, architecture. Even if you have interior and exterior, you can see all the projects on the cloud. And this is a complete 3D view. And with that, you have the complete sheet sets also. All the documentations will be also attached to this 3D model. So you can review it or you can save the packages and you can share it to the other discipline members. So while other discipline members, before they consume, so they can see the changes, what the kind of a changes they have made. So what are the elements have been modified, removed, or deleted. They can visually, they can see the changes in 3D as well as in 2D with different color codes. And accordingly, they can consume the updates. So they can consume the changes. So the next part is on the collaboration. Next slide. So when we are talking about this keeping the project on the cloud, the first thing is on the permission, right? So our concern is more on the security side. So the BIM Collaborate Pro gives you a great deal of flexibility to control who has access to your design data. So you can restrict the user access to certain folders or limit access according to user role or a company. You can control work sharing and design deliverable exchange with the assurance that the right information is in the right hands throughout the project. Next slide. And since we spoke about the collaboration part, and the next key capability is on the communication side. So how we are going to have an effective team communication or among the other stakeholders also. So you can, when you're using this BIM Collaborate Pro, you can ensure that your project team is always aware of the project's overall progress. It means like they have the complete visibility and transparency throughout the project life cycle, and this will help you to reduce rework with trackable project activity, and facilitate model exchange and deliverable coordination, and understand the changes in context between the aggregated models in a single space. And also you can easily navigate change visualization by teams, phase wise or building level, and more and more. And a quick video about the communication part. You can see the design collaboration part. So as I mentioned earlier, so this is the swim line. As you see all the multidisciplinary files over there, I can just select the structure. I can review the complete structure model, and attaching all the relevant 2D drawing sheets and everything, all the documents it's already attached to it. And if I'd like to attach, I can go and attach the document also from on the cloud. If I want to share this package to my team members, I can just create a share package on the cloud, and I just mention as modified the flows. So this package will be shared to the other team members, so that the other discipline member like MEP or structure, they can select the similar way, they can see the changes, what kind of changes is made. Okay, they can visually see the changes, and the properties, everything will be visible on the cloud. And to do this, you don't need to have a Revit application. Let's say you are manager or BIM manager. If you want to see the complete project progress and everything, you can have a BIM Collaborate Pro to see all these kind of design updates and design changes. So you don't need to download the files to view all this 2D model or a 3D model, and also it supports like 50 plus industrial file format, as I mentioned earlier. So on live, you can see all the updates and changes. And the other communication aspect is on the placing or assigning tracks and issues anywhere, right? So because our concern is like accountability, and we have to ensure that everyone involved on the project is completing their task in a timely manner. And you also can create issues and markups in using BIM Collaborate Pro. So these features enables you to pin the issues in the context and collaborate with comment threads, or you can add photos, you can assign work to other your team members or to the other consultant or your contractor, and you can track that open issue through the resolutions. And to have a quick look like how it works, this is again, let's say an example on Civil 3D file. Okay, you can see the complete 2D drawing over here with all the contour and lines. All this DWG file, you can see it here. And each and every file, there is a version control. You can see the comparison, and you can quickly open it, and you can do a markups, and you can publish this markups to your team members, or you can keep it as a private markup also. And what kind of an annotations or to whom you are going to assign these changes, everything can be done. And immediately the person will get notification via through email notification will get, so that he can go and check what are the issues is open, and he can close those issues, or he can answer to that issue, right? And you get a lot of other tools like dimensioning, and everything can be done on the cloud. Okay, if it is a 2D file or 3D model, doesn't matter. You see in the right hand side the complete text markups, dimensioning, capturing the photo. Okay, you can just have this complete flexibility on this communication part. So the last will be on the coordination. So that is a very major stuff, right? When it comes to a project, when you're working with multidisciplinary or with other consultant and design consultant or a general contractor. So we need to make sure when it goes to the site, okay, when it go for the execution, we need to make sure the project should be a clash-free model. So BIM Collaborate Pro, which will use the benefit to the entire team, okay, for the clash reduction, and you can resolve it, and issues can be identified, and you can go back to Revit, and you can resolve it once you are doing any changes on the Revit platform. So it will get updated automatically. Once you synchronize a model, it will get updated. And here the best part is like it will group the clashes. So let me just show you how it works. The user interface, the model coordination module, and this is where the complete 3D model is located. You can see the structure, architecture, MEP, all the coordination file is there, the 3D file. So I can select, I can get into the clash part. So what is the advantage what we get here is like you no need to go and pick from which discipline or which let's say if you want to check from structural discipline to the MEP discipline, you can just select the file. It automatically runs all the clashes with multiple combinations also. And once you identify the clashes, you can go and pin it like to whom you want to assign this clash. This is a complete clash report. You can select the number so that you can see, let's say if I'm selecting 162, so these are the 162 clashes identified in the model. There are a lot of ducts which is clashing through the basic wall, all the partition walls. And if the same duct which is clashing to the multiple interior basic wall, it will group it together. Okay, it will not show you as an individual clashes. It will group it together and it will show as a one single clash. Okay, the grouping also will be done automatically, and the clash part also will be done automatically. Once you identify the clash, I can assign this to a specific person. Let's say I want to assign this particular issue to a structural person to create a builder's opening. Okay, so I'm assigning it. I'm specifying all the details and the date, the due date, and location details, and what is the root cause of this issue. Everything is provided to him. And once that model is resolved, right? So I will just come and open that issue. I mean, the other person will get the notification. You will go and see what is that issue is open. You check all the descriptions, and the images also will be attached here automatically. Okay, the screenshot of the clash. And the resolving part will be on the Revit. Okay, you'll go to the Revit, you will create all the builders opening and everything, and accordingly the mod will get updated. Okay, so that's the complete progress of doing this, identifying the clashes and also the resolving the clashes part. Okay, so these are the three major key capabilities of this BIM Collaborate and Collaborate Pro about the collaboration, communication, and the coordination part. So let's see what is the benefit. So you have some questions like what is the benefit or what is the ROI that will get out of implementing this kind of a tools, right? So we'll talk about the benefit. So the first thing, so what is the change? Okay, once you implemented this collaborative BIM technology, so what is the change you get? So the first thing is like you can reduce your meeting times from 1 hour to 20 minutes, which will result in 60% of your time savings in a particular project. In one project where you can have 60% of time saving, and by implementing this BIM Collaborate and Collaborate Pro helps you to solve design issues in 5 minutes, maybe in traditional process, or if you're using some existing manual process, it may take 2 to 3 workshops or of like 20 people to solve this particular issue. But with BIM Collaborate Pro, in 5 minutes, you can able to solve this particular coordination issue. And the other major part, what the people are currently facing is the synchronization problem, like updating the changes. So let's say, for an example, if you're using a Revit server or your local server, company local server, and now this situation like this, we are like working from home. It's very difficult for us to access the project files which is in the local server. You have to connect with VPN. So obviously we know like when you connect with VPN, it will slow down your complete internet and everything, right? So the downloading speed or uploading speed will be completely reduced. So maybe it may take up to 30 minutes to 3 hours to open a model, or it will take again 10 additional 10 minutes to synchronize over the VPN. And also this time varies based on the model complexity or the project file size. And with BIM Collaborate Pro, it will take 1 to 3 minutes to open a model and 20 to 30 seconds to synchronize the changes back to the cloud. So that once it's updated, so everyone, the complete team members can see the changes and they can consume their differences, right? The changes. Next slide. And all this will impact, obviously this complete change will impact our ROI also. So because our concern is again more on the ROI part. So when we're implementing this collaborative BIM technology, so how you can maximize your ROI. So the first major, ROI part is on the like reducing the CAD drawings rework. Okay, that is a major thing. So reducing, it will help you to reduce your rework from 48% down to 2%. And when you're having this BIM Collaborate, so this design collaboration will result in cost reduction of 90% and the time saving of and you get 20% time saving in this. Yeah. Next slide. Yeah. So far we spoke a lot about the vision and why we want to travel. What is the reason and the challenges what the industry is facing, and then how we can move it, and what is the benefit that you get. And let me welcome Mr. Pratyajit Majumdar, a BIM manager. So he will explain he will talk about the journey towards the connected BIM and how they've implemented in their real project on the existing project. So over to you, Pratyajit.
Yeah, thank you, Thandavan. Yeah, good morning, everyone. So basically, I'm here to talk about all this BIM Collaborate Pro and all the experiences we have got in 2.5 years while working on this Delhi Metro project. So here, what we have shown here is two images, which are rendered images of our design for this Delhi Metro project. So we are working on phase 4 of Delhi Metro project, which is from Majlis Park to Maujpur to Majlis Park and Keshapur to Majlis Park, these two lines. And we're also working on other stations and other metro projects all over India and from outside overseas also, like outside India. So these two showcased image, the top left one is the facade image from the external side of the metro station, which we have designed. And the right one is the image from the metro track on the platform level. Okay, next slide. So, yep, while working on this whole process in BIM 360 and Autodesk Collaborate Pro, so we have strictly maintained this level of development in all the BIM models, and we are strictly following this because these guidelines were set by DMRC. So, talking about the concept design, which is the first step in the whole design process, which is known as LOD 100. So, in this process, we try to design a basic conceptual design model, and it consists of like sketches, or it consists of very simple, detailed like model, which is having very less detail. So it's basically used for finalizing the basic materials and surrounding environment and for basic visualization. And we also use it for site analysis and feasibility for the project and zoning of the project, where all the buildings are to be like coming, where the station entry and exits are there, and where the station main station body is there. So we finalize all this in the main concept design stage, and then we also compare like more and more design options and try to estimate the costing for this, and so that it can be feasible in the budget set by DMRC. So this was LOD 100, and then we come to the preliminary design stage, which is LOD 200. So here, when the design options are finalized, almost finalized, like it's narrowed down to like 2 or 3 options max to max. So in this stage, we try to more like detail out the models more and more into like little bit of more detail, so that we try to create sheets and we try to create a finalized plan for these options, so that in this design stage, we try to finalize and come with only one option, which will be taken further and detailed out, and that will be implemented on the site, and that will be created on the site. So in this stage, we also consider about like a little bit of advanced stage of design. We try to analyze the design which is more feasible and uh, more according to the site and the other site variables. And then what we come up with is the sheets, elevation sections. All these are just basic sheets, drawings, basic elevations, basic sections, and basic 3D views, just for visualization and finalization of the design. And then we also come up with some basic quantification. We also take out cost estimation, so that it's like near about the budget which we have been allotted. And then we try to extract the architectural drawings out of the BIM 360 model, and then we submit it to DMRC so that they approve our finalized option, and then we start on detailing much more further. So coming on to the next stage, which is the tender design stage, where in this stage we finalize the design almost, and then in this stage, these designs are sent to the contractors for their bidding. There are like many contractors who are interested in this project. They try to bid on the project depending on this tender design documentation, which we call as LOD 300 in this DMRC project, because this LODs try to vary as per project. So in this DMRC project, it's LOD 300, where the contractors are on board and they try to bid on this project. So in this tender stage, what we do is we extract tender drawings so that these tender drawings will be passed on to the contractors so that they can bid upon the project. And then we also try to incorporate all the model details for required specifically required for this tender design package. And then we also finalize the material so that the costing can be well defined. The costing of the overall project can be well defined. So the materials are almost finalized in this project. And yes, we do a clash run. So we do a clash detection during this stage, so that the clashes are resolved and there's less amount of changes as we go on to the further design stage. And yep, once we have resolved all the clashes, we have come up with all the design tender documentation. We submit them again back to the DMRC so that they approve it and they send it through to the contractors. Coming up to the next stage of the design phase, which is good for construction design phase, which is the end of designing stage actually, which is LOD 350. So under this design stage, what we do is we try to integrate all the details and the model elements into the drawings and the model so that it's ready for construction on site. We can get all the models, all the GFC stage models, and from the models we can extract all the GFC drawings, and those GFC drawings can be used on site while constructing the whole building, whole metro station actually. So, yep, these models should be clash free. Telling clash free, it's not possible to remove all the clashes. It's not 100%, but yeah, we are trying to achieve 90 to 95% of clash free, because 5 to 10% we are keeping it as a variance, and where there are clashes such as like acceptable clashes, and there are clashes which are due to some other design issues maybe. Uh, so we try to resolve all these clashes and try to finalize with the GFC drawings so that that can be used in the site. And yep, we try to do design optimization, which is just to cut the cost as much as possible, because at this stage when we are trying to get more and more details into the model, the costing somehow as per our experience in the last 2.5 years, 3 years, so we have seen that in the final stage of the design, this is good for construction stage, the cost upshoots a little bit during this stage. So we try to do a little bit more design optimization is in this stage. And during this design optimization, we have a lot of workshops which we organize with our client DMRC and with the contractors who are just on board during this stage, because these contractors, we need to present them in the these models, and we have to explain them these models and how are this to be constructed on site. So in this stage, this BIM 360 Collaborate and BIM 360 Collaborate Pro, these are very helpful tools, because these tools, the contractors can see the whole model on their end, and similarly the client DMRC, they also are able to visualize the whole model. They can also do markups. They can create issues which which is very easily done on this cloud platform. Otherwise, like previously, what we used to do is we used to go to their office. We used to go to DMRC's office. We used to sit there with all the printed drawings, all the presentations on big screens, big multiple screens actually, and then we used to have a discussion. But now, during this COVID situation, we are not able to go to the client office, so we have to work on our own from home specifically. So that's why this BIM 360 is helping us a lot past 2.5 years, because on this we just need a communication software where we can share our screen, and then we can discuss upon any topic, any issues which may be affecting this whole design process. So after the stage, there's construction documentation, which is LOD 400 and 450, where we add on more and more further construction details, and these contractors, they also finalize the structural model, and they also needs our approval, because the structural model and the design should go in hand to hand and go in proper sync. So these contractors also come with some fabrication details and fabrication models and other details, construction details, which they have to get approval from DMRC as well as from our company, so that the model is properly coordinated and collaborated. And again, and during this phase also, we have an extensive use of BIM 360 because all the models are uploaded there in BIM 360 by the contractors and by us also, and all the approvals and review process are run on BIM 360. So it's a very powerful tool for this kind of project, this kind of huge project, because we are working on 17 metro stations, 17 to 18 metro stations right now, and all these metro stations are using this BIM 360 Collaborate tool. So coming back to the final stage of design, which is LOD 500, which we haven't reached yet, which is as built. So after the construction is done, so this phase of design comes in. So it's LOD 500, which means it's the exact same model as the physical model in the site. So this stage, it's like a totally finished up model after construction, and we try to match up this model to the construction physical model. And this model is built for the purpose of O&M, which is known as operation and maintenance, which can be also called as facility management. As after the building is constructed, after the station is constructed, we try to get more data as how many people are coming to the station, what are the footfalls, and what are the facilities which we are missing on, or some maintenance issues which we are facing on while the station is working, right? So these all can be consolidated as dimensions of BIM, which is which starts from 1D and ends at 7D. So 1D, 2D, 3D is written below, which is like length, width, and height. And then 4D, we have a time sequencing. So there's a project schedule. So as per the project schedule, we try to come up with a time sequenced model, which is kind of an animation which relates to the physical construction of the metro station on site. And then comes the 5D, which is costing and estimation, or quantification, which we can say. So it's the costing of the whole project, which we come up with extracting all the material quantities from the model itself. And then 6D is consisting of all the analysis. It may be like design analysis, structural analysis, and energy analysis. So we are not doing this 6D on this DMRC project, just for information. And then finally, it comes the 7D, which for which we use this LOD 500 model, specifically used for O&M and facility management purpose. Okay, so next slide, please. Yep. So these are few rendered views of our DMRC prototype station. So these are still work in progress, and many things have changed yet, and many things are going to be changed because we are still under the discussion and we're not finalized. The structural work in this project has still begun, and so you can see that these are the station entry and this AFC gates, automatic fare gates, and few views of the station, totally done in Revit and used Enscape for renders. So this is a walkthrough used to provide this whole illustration for this metro project. You can see this this walkthrough is built in Enscape using Revit. So this is the station facade from outside. So these are the entry, one side entry of the station. This whole design was finalized in a span of 1 year, 2 months, because we were keeping on submitting all the different design options, and finally this design option got finalized. So it took a lot of time, a lot of toll on us to get this finalized and get this approved from DMRC. But now it's finalized. So DMRC phase 4 station elevated stations will be coming up like this. So this is, we can see another entry of the station, and we can also see the services room. So that's known as DG room beside the entry. And there was a criteria for solar panels on the roof. You guys can see that. So we have kept the provision. So here we come, and we can see the entry. We are trying to enter this station from this one entry. So 2 escalators and 1 staircase. Just typical station design. So this place there will be an elevator, and now we are entering the station. Yeah, these are the ticket vending machines, the ticket office. This is security gate check. Now this is security room and this automatic fare gates. So, yeah, staircase and escalators. Now the lift to the concourse level, lift to the platform level, because this is the concourse level of the platform. And on your right, this is the station control room where all the officials of the station are hosted and they're controlling the station amenities. This is the paid area actually. So after you cross the AFC gate, all this area comes under paid area. This is another elevator to the platform level. Now we are coming up the staircase to the platform level. So this is the platform level. You can see that FHC, fire hose cabinet. These are platform safety doors. So this is, we are walking through the platform. Below we can also see the tactile, which are basically used for disabled people. Yep. Now we have come to the end of the platform. So basically what we have done is we have created an architectural model. There's a separate structural model, and then there's a separate MEP model for this. And we have linked it and created the whole scenario. So coming up to the positive aspects of Vim Collaborate Pro, which we have been using for like 2.5 to 3 years for this project specifically. So like for design collaboration and coordination, what we have is we have workflows which is used for constructability review. So we can check the constructability intent, seeing this model, and we can also like visualize the whole model, and we can also do a review on the visualization, like how the session will look, and we can finalize that with the clients as well as with the other stakeholders like the contractors and other vendors. And then we have this Revit Cloud work sharing, which we are using it daily because we are working from home now, and like we are using this cloud work sharing so that like we can work on the live file on the cloud, and each and every team member is working on the same file, and then we are syncing the file and with all the updates. So interoperability between Civil 3D and Plant 3D is also quite good in this construction cloud, because sometimes we have for landscape purpose we have to export our model to Civil 3D, where the landscape consultants they're working on Civil 3D. So we have to export these models to Civil 3D and submit it to the landscape consultants for them to model it further. And then for coordination, yep, we are doing model coordination over here because we have a lot of workshops so that we can have like a clash-free model on site while construction, and constructability review again while like doing the coordination. And finally, just back previous slide, yeah. So this document management is used to control the documentation and submit all the construction drawings, submit all the drawings and other detailed drawings to DMRC, which in turn DMRC forwards them to the contractors, and the contractors are like building the station on site. So this document management is also one of the quite precious tools, because previously what we used to do is like we have to print the drawings out of the like AutoCAD, which we were using previously. We are not using Revit on the DMRC phase 3. So we used to print out all the drawings. We used to like give it to a courier guy, and this courier guy used to take it to the DMRC office for submission, and then DMRC officials, they review all the design and document in the drawings, and then they try to approve them. And then after approval, we get 2 copies of the drawing, and we also have to check it and then submit it to the contractors. It was a huge like process, and it used to take like months to get approvals from DMRC and then submit it to the site. And then there were some issues because like due to like all the drawings were done in AutoCAD and it was not properly collaborated, and there was issues which we had to face before. So now once we are doing everything as a 3D model in Revit, and this BIM 360, we are using this for collaboration, the number of clashes have been quite like less, and we are getting a collaborated model. And for submissions and approval, we are using digital signatures, which is very feasible for submitting it online. And now the documentation, which previously used to take months, like 2 to 3 months, now it's taking like 2 to 3 days. So it's a huge step, and we are trying to reduce, still like we are trying to make it from 2 to 3 days to 1 day approval. So we are trying hard, and it's like catching a quite good grip on this, because most of the officials are quite like primitive officials, like they are working for like 20, 20 to 25 years and in a client side. So it's tough for them to like get used to this whole new technology scenario. But it's good, it's good. Things are coming good. So coming up to the advantages of Autodesk Cloud. So it's just what I was telling earlier also. It streamlines the BIM project workflows. Like we are submitting a few models, submitting drawings. It takes very less time nowadays as it used to take previously. So number 2 point is save time, risk, reduce risk, and mitigate errors in construction project. Yeah, it definitely saves time, and risk issues are almost almost negated. And then we are mitigating errors while having this workshops. So yep, it helps in the quality and safety while commissioning of construction, and supports lean construction practices. Then multiple project members working on the same file from various locations, we are doing that. And then work from home became easy just with good internet connection. Yeah, like basically what more or less people are using is 50 Mbps connections for this 360 using Revit on the live files. So 50 Mbps connections, we are trying to synchronize like 500 to 600 MB files, which is taking like 5 to 8 minutes. Some sort of like when the file size increases up to 800 MB, it takes like 10 to 12 minutes in 50 Mbps connection. So it's quite good. It's quite good. It's quite powerful tool. And then we have a collaborative environment which enables design coordination. Yep, like people from other disciplines like MEP discipline, then structural discipline, we all are working on the like same platform. So we try to link up all the models to like a collaborated model, and then we try to run a class test, and then we come up with all the issues. We try to have a workshop, online workshop, and then we try to resolve all these issues simultaneously. And then for visual QA/QC, it's like kind of a daily practice nowadays, because once we have completed the station design, we try to showcase to other stakeholders that this is the station design which we have completed, and we try to showcase this so that it can be visually checked, so that most of the issues are resolved. And then presentation to the client turned out to be really simple with few clicks. Yeah, like presenting to the client is very simple, because we on our end can easily visualize this model when we are creating it, And after creation, when we publish the model to the client also can like open this model and they can visualize on their end also. It's very easy, simple. And then submission, delivery, and approval were totally simplified. So yep, as I told earlier that after completing the model, we publish the model and we submit it on the cloud so that it goes to the client and then they can review it further and they can send it through to the contractors. Yep. So advantages of BIM Collaborate Pro. So coming up to the advantages of BIM Collaboration Pro, working in work shared environment from any location with multiple files, which we have talked earlier. We can work on like multiple files from any location. And then file linking and collaboration for design coordination is a few simple steps. So linking file from cloud to cloud is very simple. It's like a normal local server to local server only. It's not at all hectic. We just need to like get a good internet connection. That's it, nothing more. Then data backup is easy as files are stored in cloud. It's very easy because the files are stored in cloud. Like sometimes I'll tell you a real-time example which we are facing right now because the file sizes have gone quite up. Autodesk says us to keep the file size to be 200 megs, but now like as we have entered LOD 400 stage, so the file size are coming up to 500 to 800 or maybe 1 GB sometimes. So due to these reasons, and people are having like 50 Mbps connections, so like and there's issues with the net also because nowadays most of the people are working from home. So sometimes this file, while syncing and publishing, these gets corrupted. So if these files are getting corrupted, because this data backup is in the cloud, we are easily able to like download the previous version and then start working again. So it's very easy to get the data backup from this cloud. And then multiple users and stakeholders are on the same platform. As DMRC client have implemented this BIM 360, so we are on same platform with the client and with the contractors and with other stakeholders and other vendors also. So it's very easy to operate the whole thing very simply. And then we have accessibility and visibility, which can be controlled by admins. So here in our case, the admins are the client, which is DMRC. So they try to like give us access to all the shared files and folders, not the working files and folders, because working files and folders are like they are working on the working stage. They are not finalized on finished models. So we have a proper accessibility and proper protocols for accessibility and visibility. So we are following those while submitting and working on the models on BIM 360. And tasks and responsibilities can be assigned to teams. Yep, like DMRC, while reviewing issues like in the model, they find that there are some issues with the structural model. They try to assign it to the structural team. They find some model issues with the architectural team, so they try to assign it to the architectural team. And we try to like on a daily basis, we try to resolve the issues so that the issues like can be resolved as soon as possible, because there is a linked date upon which like we have to resolve. Otherwise, like it will be turning red, and red dates are quite like seen with red eyes actually from our client side, because we have a proper date and we have to meet it so that we can keep on the right track to complete this project on time. And yeah, talking about the issues and markups can be raised in the model by anyone responsible. Yep, we are trying to like resolve the issues and markups on a day-to-day basis to like keep this project on the right track. And this is how we are submitting the models to DMRC, like when and where like we're trying to like finish all the stations once in a while. So we are having two workflows, which you guys can see on the left side of the screen, which is C.0, which is easiest to DMRC architecture. So this is the workflow to submit the architectural model to DMRC. And the second one is easiest to DMRC again. This is again easiest to DMRC architectural clash review. So this is the second set of workflow, which is done for the clash detection and clash run. So we are using these two workflows basically for submission of the model and submission of the clash reports and the clash free models. So on the right side, you can see this is how we are submitting the models. So we are using this to submit the models on a day-to-day basis when and where we are finishing the station model. just for the DMRC to review these models, and they can just comment it, or like they can send it back. They can either approve this model or they can reject this model. In the case of rejection, like the model doesn't goes through to DMRC, it comes back to us, and we again need to work on the model and we need to resolve these issues before submitting it again. So this is the process which we are doing, like which we were seeing all along this presentation. So this is all has been implementing during this project. So it's working good. It's working good, and thanks to Autodesk and all these people, so that like this whole process is streamlined and it's quite effective in this project. And specifically during this COVID phases, COVID time, because we all are working from home, it has been a huge tool for us. Thanks to Autodesk a lot. Yep.
Yeah. Thank you, Pratyajit. Thanks for sharing a lot of information about your DMRC project and how you have implemented our cloud technology and how you have overcome those challenges with the help of BIM Collaborate and Collaborate Pro. So that was a great use, a lot of useful information. Over to you, Prabhu. Like, if you can tell people like when
Yeah,
they can adopt.
thanks. Yeah, thanks, Tandon. Thanks, Pratyajit. So we've come to the final leg of our session, and we'll be answering the most important question here. When should we do this? On a journey towards this connected BIM, when should we start this journey? And if you thought that connected BIM is a destination that is difficult to reach, you see, it has already been done in over 150 countries. People in over 150 countries are already using the solutions. And there are up to 70K projects which are already incorporating all of these cloud solutions. And the rate of models in the cloud, we have close to 150K projects on the cloud. And this new project creation has jumped approximately 350% globally since working conditions shifted last year. And there are close to 10 million online syncs that are happening on a regular basis. And this 10 million sync means that more than 5 million hours of manual effort is saved in terms of uploading and downloading. So it is not like these people were already there, had a time machine of some sorts to travel into the future. They didn't have a time machine. They just started early and now are reaping all the benefits that we shared with you, like Pratyajit, like Aegis. They started early and are now reaping all the benefits. So if you want to be connected, flexible, and have powerful collaboration with all your stakeholders to reduce rework, save time and cost, be more productive, and win more business, you need to start this journey now. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time, and back to you, Abhinav.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu, Pratyajit, and Tandavan. I think it was a good, knowledgeable session. So I have a poll that will come live on your respective screens. Please do take some time out and and answer the poll questions. This will help us deliver better content in our upcoming webinars. So I'm launching the first question, and it will be available on your screen right away. So Prabhu and Tandav and Pratyajit, by the time we kind of have the poll responses, there are a couple of questions asked. So anybody of you can take this up. So there's a gentleman named Bala Subram from RMZ. So his question was, who should primarily use this? In our construction industry, collaboration needs to be there between primary architect and us and our construction partners. In this case, who should use this basic and pro versions?
I'll take up this.
Yes, Tandav.
So this tool, Collaborate and Collaborate Pro, it can be used from when you say architecture, right? So they can use it from the architecture or kind of structure engineer or the MEP engineer. So they can use it from the scratch of their project. So when they start their project, they can from the start of the project they can use this BIM Collaborate and Pro. The only difference in Collaborate and Collaborate Pro is like in Pro, what they get is like they get Revit Cloud work sharing. So online they can share the packages. So that's the benefit they get. So when I'm working on Revit, if an architect, so if they want to share the design packages to the other team members or other user, so I can share the packages on cloud, so they can uh, view and consume the packages. So in Collaborate, they get only the model coordination part, so they can just do only the class reduction and the document management. So Pro is like more of on-live collaboration, even if it's an architect or a structural engineer or MEP engineer. So with team members and the stakeholders, they can have this collaboration, that is in collaboration part.
Yeah. Thanks, Tandavan. Also, he wanted to know when can we expect 5D, which is as built in this platform?
I mean the cost part, right?
Yeah, the question that he's put on the chat box is also when can we expect 5D, which is as built in this platform?
Yeah. So I believe the cost management is already there. So 4D is like more of time-based model. So where they can use Navisworks product to have a 4D simulation, a time linear simulation. And 5D, in terms of 5D, already we have a cost management. It's already there on the cloud. And even with Navisworks also, they can have a 5D model, and where they can add the costing to their projects in terms of it can extract the quantities, and you can have the cost modules also. You can incorporate it, and in addition, like on the cloud, we have this cost management module. It's already there. In any addition that you would like to add, Prabhu, on this?
Yes, Tan. So as Tandavan said, we already have a cost management module inside of this Autodesk Construction Cloud. But what happens now is the cost management module is not connected with the 3D model as of now, but it is something that we're looking into the future, and we don't have an estimate for that, but it might happen in the future.
Okay, so there's a question from Mohammad Abdul Rahman. It says, is it contains ISO 19650 version control for the documentation process?
Yeah, both Autodesk Docs and the document management in Autodesk Construction Cloud is as per the provisions provided in ISO 19650.
Okay, and there's one question for Prithvijit. What's the importance of bringing all stakeholders into the platform, or how did you bring all stakeholders to work together in the common platform?
Basically, it was done by DMRC only because we are like not the clients, and the clients have only tried to implement the whole process, and they have started a mandate kind of that we all have to use it. So, being a part of a DDC, detailed design development, detailed design consultant, so we had to follow the guidelines, and we had to work on BIM 360 because it was like a tough job for us also to accept this BIM 360 and working on this Revit. Because previously our team used to work on AutoCAD, and then getting a buy-in from the client side, what was like quite a lot of challenge for us. But yeah, we have done it because first of all we have had a good set of people who are trying to push this BIM 360 and this BIM environment in this project. So we all were lucky that people were quite open-minded to accept this BIM on this project, and we had a good guideline from Autodesk side, and specifically there was Capricorn, and there was other people from Capricorn and Delhi who were quite proactive, and these people have helped us a lot to gain more and more access to benefits of BIM basically and BIM 360. So that's why this whole thing became pretty much easier for us. And I had also past experiences working with Autodesk and working with other companies. So I was fine, but the team had to struggle a lot to come on board. And now the contractors, when they came on board, they were also having lots of difficulties. But now after 1.5 years, when the contractors are already on board, things are quite smoothly running. So it took time, definitely took time, but things are now going good. So for uh, like for people who are looking at the future of this construction industry, they have to like understand that this is the next level technology which we all need to learn and which we all need to use it as soon as possible, because each day we are doing a delay will affect like many number of days in the future. So we have to understand this and we have to work accordingly. So
Yeah.
yep.
Thanks, Prithvijit. Tandavan, there's a question for you and Prabhu as well. How does Autodesk make sure that the data stored in cloud is secure?
Yeah. If you take this, our Autodesk cloud technology, modules like Collaborate and Collaborate Pro, which is designed with privacy in mind, and also all files which is uploaded to BIM Collaborate Pro are stored in the cloud on encrypted storage. So the storage solution, we use like 256-bit advanced encryption. The standard is EAES 250, advanced encryption standard 256. And also, if you have this network traffic it contains more sensitive information, right? So such as credentials or session tokens, and this transmitted also securely encrypted using the TLS, which is transfer layer security. So our data are securely saved on the cloud. So with all this encryption.
Okay.
And in addition to that, there is also a white paper that is available in the Autodesk website for about cloud security and what measures that Autodesk takes to protect the data of its customers in BIM 360 and on the Autodesk cloud. And there's also a session that was done with Tandavan and me. You can find it as BIM 360 and cloud security under Autodesk University. That will explain all the mechanisms that is being done to ensure that our customers' data and the files, we know how confidentiality is very important in a construction project, and you'll get to know all the measures that is being taken to maintain the confidentiality of your information.
Okay, thank you guys. There's another question. What about the constructual issues facing by the consultants when they keep the data in cloud? Since in India, most of the clients will not pay if they got the data in their hands, like they can access the production data is available.
Yeah, so that's the advantage of an Autodesk cloud solution, where even though the data is living on the cloud, the data owner has the ability to set up permissions to the data so that he controls, or he or she can control, the company can control who has access to what data. Based on the permissions that you give, only if they have the relevant permissions will they be able to access any data that you share with them. Otherwise, they'll not be able to go into any folder. They'll not be able to download any drawings from the Autodesk cloud. It is only based on the permissions that you give them.
Okay, so any more questions? Because I don't see anything else. Okay, there's one more by Selvaraj Gopal. At the same time, how many can synchronization? I'm not sure if
model update, right? So that's I think he's talking. You mentioned about the design collaboration sync.
Okay.
Yeah. So if it design collaboration sync, it's not, there is no minimum number in it. The users, if you have 20 users or 30 users, so everyone parallelly simultaneously they can do the synchronization. So that's the most benefit that you get in BIM Collaborate Pro. The reason is the file is already, the central model is already on the cloud, and where the teams are already directly working on the file, right? So they can keep on change and update the changes on the cloud. So it will keep on synced. So that's why even I mentioned it, like where usually it will take like 30 minutes to download or upload, time will be 10 minutes, right? So with cloud, you get like in 20 seconds, you can able to sync it. Less than 20 seconds. Yeah.
Okay.
So there is no minimum cap or minimum number in it. So everyone, all the users can do it simultaneously.
Okay. So there's one more question. Should I start learning BIM with Revit architecture only or including structure plus MEP?
Now the Revit is like, it's a common platform. When you say Revit, it has all the three disciplines, all the three platforms like architecture, structure, and MEP. It's up to a designer. If a person from mechanical engineer or electrical engineer, so you can learn that module and you can start using that collaboration models right from Revit, and so that he can publish a model on the cloud. It depends upon that user level. So if he is on architecture or structure, so based on that he can learn that structure module in Revit and collaborate on the cloud platform. That's it. You don't need to learn the complete modules on Revit. So as per his roles and responsibilities, you can learn the disciplines.
Okay. So I think that's all the, okay, there's one more that just came in. Is there any solution to put CAD files on BIM 360?
Any solution
Question
that
is-
CAD
Yeah, is
CAD
there any
files
solution?
are already
Yeah.
supported in BIM 360. So as Tandavan mentioned, right, the Autodesk Construction Cloud, it supports the document management, supports close to 50 plus file formats, and CAD files are one of them. DWG files are one of them. So you can already save your AutoCAD drawings or your Revit 2D drawings in the cloud right now.
all different, maybe if it is from IFC file or any other file format also, it will support.
Okay, so
Question?
nothing on the chat box yet. Okay, sorry, there's one more that's come from Selvaraj Gopal. It says, thanks for this arrangement. It was very useful. Once again, thank you for any video capture of the future reference. Thank you, Selvaraj. I think we appreciate your feedback. So that's, I think that's the last question that I can see on the chat box. I know we've extended a little bit of our time, but thank you, Prabhu, Prithvijit, and Tandavan. This definitely was a good informative session. And, thank you so much for taking out your time. Thank you, people, for joining in. Please stay safe. Please take care of yourself and your family. And we will look forward for more sessions. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Rubina. Thank you,
Yep.
Rahul. Thank you,
Rubina.
special thanks.
Thank you, everyone. Yep. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.